We are here at the final essay, the final assignment, and you're going to do well on it. You're going to ace this thing. You got this. This is the rhetorical essay. There is no rough draft. It's just the final draft. You're just going to turn in a great essay that you proofread and wrote very well using the rhetorical appeals. So let's take a look at the assignment details for the rhetorical essay. Boom, here we are. The rhetorical essay. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Okay, there we are. It says, in this essay, you will persuade your audience to adopt your viewpoint on a controversial issue. This essay will exemplify your ability to use the rhetorical appeals to create a trifecta of persuasion for your take on the issue at hand. For this essay, you are going to use the same argument as the critical essay. Same argument. You have the argument already. You know what you want to say about it already. Use it. Don't change your topic. Use the same argument, the same topic. Don't change it. This makes it easier for you, and it's a practice at using the same topic, the same argument, same thesis, and just making it into a different kind of essay. The successful essay will include the following: a clear and concise thesis statement that informs your audience of your argument, a paragraph dedicated to your use of ethos, to your use of pathos, to your use of logos, 3 quotation sandwiches, 1 for each body paragraph, a clear organization of thoughts and ideas, which basically means good essay structure, relatively few grammatical and spelling errors, successful exemplification of essay structure, works cited page, and no mention of rhetoric or the rhetorical appeals, since you are to exemplify them. You are not to say rhetoric, you are not to say rhetorical, you are not to say ethos, pathos, and logos. You're not to say those things. Those are no-nos. Just don't mention them. You are to exemplify the use of those things. And you'll see how to use them in the lessons that I have for you. So here's the paragraph outline for the rhetorical essay. Attention grabber, main points, thesis statement, all were 3 points. Your first body paragraph should be dedicated to a single rhetorical appeal. So it's dedicated to ethos, pathos, or logos. The second body paragraph is dedicated to a different rhetorical appeal. Third body paragraph dedicated to the last rhetorical appeal. And you can use them in any order. So your first body paragraph can be ethos, your second body paragraph can be pathos, your third body paragraph can be logos, or it can be logos, pathos, ethos, or pathos, logos, ethos, or pathos, ethos, logos. You can choose the order that you want to go in. Have a good topic sentence. The topic sentence must exemplify the rhetorical appeal you're going for. That's one of the main keys for this essay. Make sure the topic sentence exemplifies that rhetorical appeal. And I'll touch on that in the lesson. A quotation sandwich. You have the lesson. You're supposed to use it in the last essay. Use it here. Support details, examples, and transition between body paragraphs. Conclude your paragraph, reword your thesis statement, mention your main points, and with a clincher. 1 or 2 points will be deducted for every other error found in the paper. This means like obvious types of errors. And don't use any of the banned topics. If you used it for your critical essay, it shouldn't be a banned topic. Don't try to switch up your topic and turn in a paper that you didn't write. If you turn in a banned topic, it's just a 0. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to put a 0 in there, and you were warned. Use the same topic that you used for your critical essay. Somebody's going to do it. Just don't let it be you. All right, so this is the standard rhetorical essay, but I'm making a deal. You I have a list of extra credit. Let me show you. Where did I put it? So the deal is that you can write a simpler version of the rhetorical essay and still score great on it. Or, or you can take on any of these extra credit opportunities. Get back to sharing this. Okay, here we go. Boom. So you can turn in a rhetorical essay that is MLA formatted, 5 paragraphs. You use good essay structure, have introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph without any research. But you must exemplify the rhetorical appeals still. You can do that essay. No research, just MLA format, good essay structure, exemplify the rhetorical appeals. Or you can take advantage of any of this extra credit. Now, if you take advantage of all of this extra credit, you can make up a good 30 something points from other essays or other assignments that you missed. So here is the extra credit deal. You may do a simple rhetorical essay with no research that exemplifies your use of the rhetorical appeals, or you may go for a more advanced paper by taking advantage of the extra credit opportunities for this essay. This means that if you messed up on the critical essay, and let's say that your quotation sandwiches were trash, but you know how to do them, or you know that you can do them, take advantage of the quotation sandwiches extra credit here. Show that you can do them and make up those points for the trash ones that you turned in from the critical essay. So if you turn in a rhetorical essay and you include 3 quotation sandwiches, these have to be perfect. You get 7 extra credit points. You can do 3 quotation sandwiches, or you can do 2 quotation sandwiches and a block quote for 10 points, 10 extra credit points. That's a whole letter grade worth of extra credit points. The reason why the 2 quotation sandwiches and a block quote is worth 10 points is because I didn't teach you how to do a block quote. But it's so simple to look up that you can do it. And it must be a perfect MLA block quote. So you can have a quotation sandwich in the first body paragraph, a quotation sandwich in the second body paragraph, and a block quote in the third body paragraph. And you can get 10 extra credit points that way. If your essay is in all third person, this means third person pronouns. First person pronouns, if I'm writing or speaking, it's any pronoun that includes myself, me. So I, me, my, us, our, ours, we. Second person pronouns is anything that includes you. If I'm speaking, anything is you. So you, your, y'all, you all, thou, thine. And third person pronouns are pronouns that don't include me and they don't include you. So he, she, it, them, those, they. We could say one may say, or one may think, or the author thinks, or Rebecca says, or Bryant thinks. So that's third person. If your essay is in all third person, then you can earn 3 extra credit points. If you have no contractions, contractions are words that combine 2 words together and put an apostrophe in there, like can't, won't, I'll, wouldn't. Those are contractions. If you can write your whole paper without contractions, you can earn 3 extra credit points. This is a strategy, especially if you are someone who doesn't make the word counts. By taking out contractions, you can probably add like 25 words to your paper. Have your paper seen by a TC tutor. You can go into the tutor office with your paper and ask for, proofreading help or editing help or suggestions on how to fix some errors that you have. When you go to a tutor, just have them email me. Usually they do it anyway, just like the librarians. If you go to a librarian, you can get help from a librarian, but only for your sources, like works cited information. Don't ask the librarian to help proof your paper. Early submission. If you submit your paper by Friday, July 18th, you'll get 5 extra credit points. I like to throw that in there because it gives me some time to grade some papers ahead of some papers, so I don't have a big pile of papers to grade. So do that if you can. Perfect MLA formatting. If you're confident that you can do perfect MLA formatting, go for it. Get 3 extra credit points for that. And a perfect works cited page. You can only get the perfect works cited page if you cite something in your paper. And that's worth 4 points. And yeah. This note down here though, you must list the extra credit that you are going for in the text box portion of the submission page when you submit your final draft. Otherwise, I will not know to look for your attempts. Your attempts must be perfectly executed to receive any extra credit. No partial extra credit points will be awarded. So when you submit your Word or PDF document, in the part of the submission box where you can type in 3 quotation sandwiches, or you can just copy and paste the ones that you're going for. Whoops, wait, I did. So just, I say I'm going for these. Just copy and paste those in there. And then I'll look for them to make sure you did them. Now, here's the thing too. If you go for these things, if you list them in the text box to go for them, and they're wrong. For example, if you put that you did all 3rd person pronouns, and you have me read your paper, making sure you did all 3rd person pronouns, and I see a 1st person or a 2nd person pronoun in there, I'm taking off 2 points for each one, because they're not supposed to be in your paper. If you put that you did no contractions in your paper, and I see can't, and I see won't, and I see wouldn't, 2 points come off for each one, because these things now become no-nos, because you told me that you didn't do it. So I'm looking for your execution in the thing that you said that you were going to execute. If you put that you did 3 quotation sandwiches and you don't have the meat set up for your quotation sandwich, source, verb, comma, quote. If that's not the meat of the quotation sandwich, then points come off for that. So make sure if you list it, make sure that you proofread your paper to make sure that you did this correctly. Yeah, there's a consequence for making me look for it and it's not there, or making me look for it and it's wrong. If you put it on, if you list it, I'm going to be excited to see that you are going to do this thing perfectly. And then if I get to it and it's not perfect, points come off. So don't just copy this whole thing and paste it into the text box. Be sure that you want to go for these extra credit opportunities. Yeah. So I showed you the standard rhetorical essay, but you don't have to have quotation sandwiches if you don't want to. All those things, the quotation sandwiches are now extra credit if you want to do them. You don't have to. You can make it easy and just do the 5-paragraph essay, exemplify the rhetorical appeals with your argument, and submit it. If you do that, hopefully you get it done early and you can submit it by Friday for the extra credit points. All right, that's all for the overview. For the lessons on rhetoric, the first one is Rhetoric for Kids. Now, this is a video that was done by a student at another college. And I've been showing it since, I don't know, like 2011. And he knows that I show it in my classes and stuff. So I show this video because it's just he did a good job at making people understand what rhetoric is. But it is kind of, the video is kind of cringe. Like, you don't want to watch it more than once. So just pay attention the first time and let what rhetoric is sink in. Some of the extra things that he did on there were pertinent at the time in the news. So some things right now just might be confusing when you see it. Like the ducks and stuff at the end. Or whatever animal that is. After watching Rhetoric for Kids, come on down to Rhetoric and the Rhetorical Appeals, more in depth. I go over ethos, pathos, and logos and the use of rhetoric a little more on the traditional side here. And I fill in some blanks here, some holes here. And when you're ready, I just want you to know there's no rough draft for this essay. So as soon as you're ready, do your pre-write. Write down, jot down an outline, or do a free write, or do a list of how you're going to set out this essay. Some things you might talk about in each body paragraph. How the topic sentences are going to exemplify the rhetorical appeal that you're going for that body paragraph. For this essay, you might be able to keep your introduction and your conclusion paragraph from your critical essay, depending on how you wrote those. Sometimes they do just transfer over, and all you have to do is work with the body paragraphs. But you do have to make sure that your main points do touch on a main point dealing with ethos, a main point dealing with pathos, a main point dealing with logos. And remember, don't say ethos, pathos, and logos. Just exemplify the use of them. And after you do your pre-write, create a rough draft. If you create a rough draft and you would like to go over the rough draft together, by all means, create the rough draft and sign up for an office hour, and we can go over it during the office hour. Or take it to one of the tutors and get 5 extra credit points. But yeah, that's the rhetorical essay deal. Take a look at your critical essay final drafts. From the examples that I got from one class, a lot of people failed it because a lot of people didn't put quotation sandwiches and stuff in it. Some people panicked. And a few people got A's. So it's almost like everyone who put everything that was supposed to be in there got great grades. And then there were just a big handful of people who just didn't. And if you didn't, you can use the extra credit for the rhetorical essay to make up for those points that you lost in the critical essay. The rhetorical essay points are worth more than the critical essay points because this essay is weighted heavier. So that's another reason why if you missed the narrative essay, you can do the extra credit for the rhetorical essay and almost make up for the whole portion of the narrative essay that you missed, whether you missed the rough draft or the final draft. Because each point now is worth multiple points or more than 1 point of the narrative essay. It's how the math works out. So take advantage if you need to. Take advantage if you want to, or just take advantage of the extra credit. All right, I'm gonna stop. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or sign up for an office hour and I'll get back to you.